I'm Carl Anthony, and welcome to AutoSens, the world's leading community for ADAS and autonomous vehicle technology development. We create best-in-class events, training, and information to connect engineers, scientists, and many other automotive industry experts across the globe. We're joined today by Peter Kovacs, who is the Senior VP of AI Data at aiMotive. Peter, welcome to AutoSens, and thanks for being with us today.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Peter, give us a high-level overview of aiMotive. Tell us a little bit about the company.
Okay, aiMotive is a software company which was created to develop software for self-driving vehicles. But during these years that aiMotive was working on several technologies, we currently have four pillars, I would say. The biggest one is AI Drive, which is the self-driving software stack that aiMotive was primarily working on from the beginning. The AI Drive software stack starts from the sensors on the vehicle, and it ends at the actuation of the vehicle. So it's an end-to-end self-driving software stack. Then the development of AI Drive was supported by our internal simulation software development, which later became AI Sim, which is now also available for others to use. It is a real-time simulator, which is primarily focusing on the validation of ADAS functions and automated driving functions, and it works in conjunction with AI Drive, while others are using it for testing other ADAS functions and self-driving software as well. Then we have aiWare, which is a hardware IP for accelerating neural network inference. So it is a hardware IP which SoC makers can license and introduce it in their SoCs to have power efficient and also runtime efficient neural network inference, focusing on real-time image processing and self-driving applications, but it can be used for other purposes as well. And finally, AI Data is the newest addition to our portfolio, which consists of tools and technologies for generating training and validation data, both real and virtual, to support the development of AI Drive. It was supporting AI Drive for several years internally, but now we open these technologies up to support the development of others as well, not just AI Drive. And I'm currently working with the AI Data team in conjunction with the AI Drive team to make this as best as possible.
So, Peter, before you're working extensively with AI Drive, now you're working extensively with AI Data. Tell us, Peter, give us an idea. Why is having data either real or simulated? Why is having a good, robust data pipeline important?
With these algorithms, which do the environment recognition part of any ADAS function or self-driving system, because these are based on machine learning algorithms, the environment recognition can be as good as the data is diverse and the data quality. So the recognition performance increases with the amount and the diversity of the data that we use for training and validation purposes. So unlike traditional algorithms, which eventually top up at a specific performance, machine learning based and neural network based recognition algorithms can achieve much higher performance, but it very much depends on the data that you use when developing them.
So, Peter, we were talking about this off air. Now coming back to this conversation on the air, Data is the new oil of the automotive industry. And especially when you talk about things like electrification, next generation ADAS systems, software defined cars, data is the new oil of the automotive industry. Peter, can you share your thoughts on that? Give us your thoughts on data being this new oil in automotive.
As the environment recognition algorithms that form the basis of ADAS functions and automated driving functions, the performance of these algorithms very much depends on the quality and the quantity of the data that people use to develop and validate such algorithms. And that's why data which is collected during development, but also after deployment, is so important to be fed back to the development process for a continuous improvement to happen.
So, Peter, on your website, and I want it aimotive.com for our viewers, there is a section under the AI data, which you'll see at the top next to AI Drive and AI Sim, which Peter was talking about before. There's a section under AI data that's about AI Notate. And Peter, I wanted to ask you this, and I'll just read for our viewers here. Under AI Notate, it says automated annotation and knowledge transfer to reduce costs. So, Peter, let's talk about this a little bit. How can aiMotive help your customers reduce cost in automotive?
Okay, so collecting the data is not enough just by itself, but in order to create proper algorithms for environment recognition, you have to add additional information to the sensor data, which they call labeling or annotation of the raw sensor data. Now, this can be done manually or semi-automatically, and there are companies who are specialized in annotating, labeling massive amounts of sensor data, camera data, LiDAR data, and so on, to draw rectangles around vehicles, to determine the color of the traffic light, and so on and so on. But if you have a system which can automatically generate this ground truth data for you based on additional sensors mounted on the data collection vehicles, you're using the possibility of going back and forth in time in a recording, then you can avoid most of this manual work, which has significant cost, and that's exactly what aiNotate does.
Peter, when it comes to your wealth of experience, so working with AI Drive, now AI data, we have a lot of our AutoSens attendees and our viewers. They're engineers, they're scientists, they're working in automotive at all levels, from product development to marketing. Peter, can you share some key takeaways with us, things that you have learned working on AI data or AI Drive? Can you share some key takeaways with us that you've noticed just about automotive? Share some helpful thoughts with us and share some insights there.
At aiMotive, what we are working towards is to eliminate more and more of the manual work which is associated with the collection, management, tagging, flagging of the data that we use for the environment recognition part of things. And that's what I also recommend to think about, what parts of the manual steps can be eliminated or at least reduced, or if you put manual work in, how can you benefit it from multiple times, not just once, but how can you extract value from the manual addition, the human intelligence, as many times as possible?
Peter, for our viewers who wish to learn more, how can they go about contacting aiMotive? What is the best way?
Well, our website contains a lot of helpful information, as well as white papers and videos about the things we work on, as well as we have quite often announcements on LinkedIn and Facebook, if you like. So please check there. We announce all the latest developments and releases that we have.
Peter, it's been wonderful to chat with you and to discuss this. Data is the new oil in automotive. Exciting times ahead. So thank you for being with us, sharing your experience and your expertise. And from all of us here at AutoSens, we want to wish you the best of luck going forward. And thanks for being with us today, Peter.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.
For more interviews like this, subscribe to the AutoSens YouTube channel and follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter. For more information on our world-class events and technical training, visit auto-sense.com. That's auto-sense.com. In Detroit, on behalf of AutoSens, I'm Carl Anthony.